Everybody ready? Call the meeting to order and begin with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
No problem, Tom.
Well, thank everybody for coming tonight. And next up would be approval of the minutes of the October 9th, 2018 regular meeting. I have a motion of support. Is there any comments or questions, corrections? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Moving to C. First up, we have a public hearing to consider the vacation of a north-south alley in the south line of Lot 2, Block 4, Michigan Avenue Heights, south to north right-of-way line of Hickory Street in Block 4, Michigan Avenue Heights, City of Elmwood, Ashe County, Michigan. So, we'll open the hearing. And who's taking the lead on this? Are you gonna?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
And we saw the photos in there and it was all grass. So I guess when I saw alley, I was thinking it was like an alley that vehicles go through, but it's not, it's just, that's just called. That's the
Well,
main
it
vehicle.
could be.
Okay,
It's just that a vehicle hasn't done it
and so long,
in
okay.
years.
And we haven't done anything to gravel it and maintain it as we do in some, or have in the past in some other alleys, is that
Okay.
correct?
Someone keeps mowing it. Must have
That's
been-
right, I keep on mowing. I'm the one that put the request in for her to have it closed, because I have a lot that goes out to Grove, and then I have also my house that goes out to Republic. I wanna join those properties together, and so I can extend my fence out so that I wouldn't have no issues as far as the city with the fence and, you know, because it's an alley there.
Yeah, so.
You retain,
That's-
you
yeah.
retain.
Actually, 2 years ago, I talked to the city about it, and they were mentioning that they were gonna close like 11 alleys in the town, and this was one of them. Well, it never happened, so that's why I'm going ahead and do it now, so.
And do we currently have utilities or anything running down that?
There are power, and that's it.
Okay.
Which is not ours, there's,
Consumers does, but we do not.
there's no undergrounds in the alley.
No, there is.
And quite likely not going to be, but
Correct.
we do retain the easement, and if we wanted to put a pipe through there for whatever reason, we could still, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, and that's what the resolution states.
All right. Okay,
And the resolution will be recorded, that it shows that the city is vacating this alley and that the property owners have the rights, but there will still be that easement. Representing and utilities.
Most of the stuff is issued by the property owners to do that, so it's all
Just a question, how does that become your property to put up a fence or put lawn or whatever you want in there? How does that
The
work?
way it ordinarily works is it's split between the abutting property
Oh,
owners.
okay.
And if you have property on
Yeah,
both sides. then
Oh, all right, okay.
Right, I got it.
Okay, all right, good, thank you.
In essence, Mr. Couch has been taking care of his property, of that property for us, and so he just wants to have the ownership of it and say, yes, he can really have that property.
so he really, that was obligated to take care of it, is that correct? Careful what you wish for.
Well, I didn't like the way that you guys did it.
Fair
Doesn't sound
point.
like we've been doing much. Okay, yes,
So does that mean that you can put a fence on that property and everything then?
I believe it does, but now
Yes.
if there were to come to get some cause to put something through there, or if consumers needs to get in to work on their lines, I believe they have the right to do that, and I don't know how that
Correct.
works with a fence. Can they just mow it down, or would we mow the fence down, or, I mean, hopefully they'd try and work with the landowner, the
Yeah,
fence
yeah,
owner,
I
but-
would think it'd be like when they're trimming trees or something
Yeah.
for consumers where they would try to.
Actually, the poles will be outside of my fence.
but if somebody else,
Well, they wouldn't be going beyond because the park is right there, so
okay,
they wouldn't be going any further, so.
good. Sounds like it's not gonna be a problem then.
Should not this one.
So are they gonna put up property lines so that we know where where, I know where mine is and I know where my neighbor's is.
No, I don't believe that happens.
The survey, your property is probably already surveyed, and there should be stakes in the ground if you know where those are at.
No, I don't.
Well, it depends though too, see, because if this was platted as an alley, then that would not have been part of their property, it would have been platted as an alley, that's probably what happened.
No, but the division between the two properties backing up to it would both be, have stakes, they should have.
Well,
it,
except that the alley itself though is a separate thing, in other words, what you're asking is, take me to the center, draw that line right in the center, so I know where
Exactly.
mine is and the other guy's is, that's not happen, that doesn't happen.
No, we're not going to do that.
So that's something I think if you were concerned about it, would have to be taken care of, and maybe the property owners could get together and do
And
it.
have a survey.
But, yeah, that's not something that,
No, we wouldn't do that, but if they knew where the two stakes were, they could measure and
Yeah, but-
figure the line themselves.
yeah.
Well, I don't think in the past it's been a problem between the property owners, they've
That's
both
the
been,
alley, and this
since
is-
everybody's gaining
This is King.
a few inches one way or the other, probably isn't gonna be a fight over, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the answer would be if you needed to know exactly where, it'd be up to you to survey.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably a good idea.
Because we're just, at this point, giving up our rights to,
And if you agree, and the property owner next to you agrees, you know what I mean, that's fine, the only problem is that people move and, you know, that kind of thing too. Then you're gonna call me.
things always get better when you call an attorney.
Yeah,
so-
don't call it
code
Apparently all the neighbors are agreeable to this.
Yeah, I
From
got
what you
signatures
had
from
signed.
everybody, yeah.
Yeah, you would have had to file that petition.
I see a couple no's back.
Yeah,
They're agreeable to the vacating the alley, perhaps the stuff that follows is a little more intricate in terms of figuring it out, right? It'll take a little more negotiation skills with your neighbor.
Well, the easiest way to do it, we get these calls all the time, is there's a list of certified surveyors in this area that do work here. You call them up, you should, if you're a smart homeowner, have a survey already for your home. You give that to the surveyor, and they can just work off of that to give you your extra piece that you need. And if you would, it makes sense to work with your adjacent homeowner who abuts your alley with you, so you can work that all out at one time. That would be the smart way to do it. It wouldn't cost that much either to do it that way. Now, if they have to start from scratch, prices start to change. But hopefully you would have a survey for the property within your deed and all that sort of thing.
Now, would the
if all the
survey
property
mark
owners
be
got together and
moved?
did it.
What's that?
Would the survey mark be moved?
No, I mean, well, it depends, that can happen, but if everything is in your deed, they will work off your deeds and then put it all together.
And there's two
It's all
types-
platted, that's a platted area.
There's
I mean.
two types of surveys too, and for your purposes, I think, what Eric's talking about would work just fine. And they work off the surveys, they find some stakes and they can do that, you know, because you can eyeball it too, you kind of get a sense, I mean, it's just a strip of land, it's not that wide. And so long as you agree on it, you stake it or fence it, however you want to do it. If you want an official survey, where they go to the benchmark and they go, you know, that's more expensive, and I think that's what Eric's talking about. I don't know that that's necessary.
It is, I wouldn't say it is.
Because, you know, like I said, if they're gonna be wrong, they're gonna be wrong by inches, not, you know.
Right.
And the money that you save by doing it the way Eric suggests is more than make up for any
And
inch
this-
you might have lost on them.
In this case, you're not gonna lose anything, you're looking at gaining on the property, so, and where you're at, you're butting both of them, so in your case, you're just making sure you're north-south property lines are where they're supposed to be, as opposed to the east-west, whichever the other folks may be more worried about.
Right, which is Beverly's issue
Yeah.
that she's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And those things are not that, for surveyors, they're not that complicated, because they go and they do that for a living, and I can get you a list of people that do work in this area, and give them some calls, and they can some work with them.
So we saw a list of people that signed up in favor of this. Did we receive communication of people opposed to this as well? From anybody?
From the looks of it, I don't think it's been used as an alley in anybody's memory.
No, it doesn't.
So I can't imagine anybody would be.
Okay, so, a motion to close the hearing?
Support.
A motion support. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, the hearing is closed. Now, consideration and resolution approving the vacation of the north-south alley from south line of Lot 2, Block 4 of Michigan Avenue Heights, south to north right-of-way line of Hickory Street in Block 4, Michigan Avenue Heights, City of Elmwood, Gratiot County, Michigan, reserving however easements over, under, and across the said parcel for public utility purposes. Your resolution?
So moved.
Support, we have a motion support. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Consent agenda, we have one item this evening, ratifying the payment in the amount of $4,233.90 to Ward's Excavating for the emergency storm sewer repair on Michigan Avenue on September 16th, 2018. Second. We have motion support. Alan, just for the camera, do you want to give a quick, you gave us a talk about this before. Tell us why you called in an external firm because of the issues you had with this particular problem?
Sure, that we identified there was a sinkhole on the corner of on the edge of the pavement, and that's usually an indication that there's a gap in the pipes somehow. And so in that area that the storm sewer is about 9 feet deep. It's a very sandy area, and for us to dig in there, it is difficult because the sand keeps collapsing into the hole. That rather than rush out there and try to do something quickly, we looked around, we thought about it for a while, and said, no, we really need to get it done quickly so it doesn't make a bigger problem, but we don't have the ability to dig fast enough. And so that's why we went to Ed Ward Excavating to help us do that. They have a bigger bucket, and it still took them about 3/4 of a day to get it excavated. And we found out that there was a couple sections of storm sewer that had collapsed, and we replaced those pieces and put it back.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Anybody have questions or comments on this?
Now, this was all replaced when they put the water line through to St. Louis?
I do not believe so.
No?
It was on the south side.
Yeah, it was outside, the south side of the road.
Okay, any more comments or questions? Hearing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Passed. Moving to request for purchase, the first up is request for purchase in the amount of $3,733.80 to DLT Solutions LLC for 3 AutoCAD subscription renewals for the period of November 11th, 2018 through November 10th, 2019 for our engineering department. Move approval. Motion support, any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor? Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. And we have request for purchase, the amount of $3,556 to AR 500 Armor Store for level 3 lightweight body armor for the police department.
Motion?
Support.
Motion support, any comments or questions? I believe we were in line, this is a result of a grant from
There will be
Luniac,
a-
or there will be,
there will be
we're
a
anticipating a grant
reimbursement.
from the Luniac Family Foundation, is that correct?
Yep, we already have the check here, and so we've already been awarded that money.
So our anticipation is pretty good.
Yes.
Perfect, and thank you to the Luniacs for that. Once again, this is certainly not the first time that they have stepped up and helped out a lot, so. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Number 3 is request for payment in the amount of $2,999 to LAT for uniform polos, sweatshirts, and coats for the Elma Transportation Center employees.
So moved.
Support. Motion support. Any comments or questions?
Is this the
This is the one we
one
came
we
back
tabled?
from. Yep.
This is one we tabled before.
Yes, this is the one that was tabled from the last, and
Okay.
I've had some discussion with, there was a question of local, this fits within our policy, but within the local, there also have a quality issue and some of the issues of time, when you're looking. We do use the other businesses for what we find them to be very good at, which is the t-shirts and things like that, so this is really as much of anything as a quality issue, getting our stuff in a timely manner and to the quality that we want it to be.
Okay. Anyone have some questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Number 4, request for payment in the amount of $5,050 to Row Incorporated for the topographical survey for the 2019 CIP project, which is Hayes Avenue. Approval. Support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Number 5, request for payment in the amount of $5,962.80 to Wanzi Tree Service for the 2018 stump grinding of city trees that have been removed.
Support, or move approval. Whichever.
You support the tree stump
Whatever,
removal?
make the motion, support.
Very good. Okay, I believe we have a motion and support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Moving to number 6, which is a request for purchase in the amount of $2,340 to Central Concrete Products for concrete and rebar for a foundation runner for the military section of Riverside Cemetery.
Move approval.
Support. We have a motion of support. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And that is carried.
So you know, this is something that we do also with the VFW in concert with them, fixing up the area for the veteran parks. Nice joint program.
So do they contribute financially to this, or is
They
this just
come
part
out
of
and
the?
they come out and they do labor.
Oh,
Labor and stuff to set the.
It's the concrete run that goes the full length, and then they provide and install the foam inserts that go in there, so make sure that when the headstones come in, they fit exactly in line where they should be. And so we pour the concrete, and then they will
Okay.
install the foam.
Didn't know how that worked, but that's, good to
It's
know.
very close tolerances, and then they're grouted in, yeah.
Yeah. Certainly a good partnership, I'm sure.
It is.
So, thank you. Now, forgetting where we're at, I think we had a motion of support, so, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Next up is request for purchase in the amount of $1,518.96 to Single Source for, is it Dow ice melt for use at city buildings? Support. Comments or questions? Anybody want to stop winter from coming?
We've tried that before, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, okay.
Doesn't work.
Well, we tried. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. Number 8 is request for purchase in the amount of $5,614.89 to Standard Electric Company for the total replacement of a downtown streetlight damaged by a vehicle accident. Support. We have motion support. This is just one pole, right?
Yes.
Okay. Aside from this one, I think we've got several that are missing. Are there others on order, or
This is the
or
only
have they all
one.
been replaced now? Maybe.
Should be other, but this is the
Yeah,
one
this is-
for Woodward and Superior
Okay.
Street.
Yeah.
The double-
Yeah,
the price is so high, this is one of the double sheet
Okay.
light poles.
Do we keep any of those in stock, or?
No,
Okay.
we don't anticipate them to fall over.
Well, I know we don't anticipate it. It seems like we've got a number of them. And do we get any insurance reimbursement from this, from the drivers?
Sheila, can you help me out there?
Yeah, well, hopefully we will. We had to get the amount now. I can bill the insurance.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Yeah.
And we did have one of our city employees that chased down the truck driver who ran over it.
Yeah.
Got a license plate on it.
Little citizen's arrest?
Just got a license plate then, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
we don't encourage.
Didn't
people to
chase down.
people down, I know.
Just got a plate. Go identify.
Yes.
Very good.
Get a gold coin? Get a gold coin?
Well, maybe she did, I don't know. Or maybe that was what Matt got his for.
I'm giving mine back.
No, I think you need to keep it, we need that for entertainment value.
Makes you
for nothing
strive.
else. That's right.
Continue to strive.
So I believe we received the motion and support for the light pole. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. And finally, number 9, request for purchase in the amount of $29,664.45 to Todd Wenzel Buick GMC of Westland for one 2018 GMC Sierra 2500 pickup truck with the snowplow prep package. And notation, this is under the state pricing contract, so it's a price that's negotiated by the state of Michigan on our behalf. Your pleasure.
Move approval.
And motion support. Is there any comments or questions? What department is this? Is this just going to the pool, or is this going to a department?
Public Works.
Public Works, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion is carried. So, recommendation on bids. We received bids for the demolition of well house number 2A, which is on the corner of Center and Pine Street. following bids were received, the low bid being Butcher Excavating LLC of Elma at $30,500, going all the way up to the high bid of $47,000. So nice to see the recommended bidder is Butcher Excavating, which is the low bidder, so your pleasure.
Motion.
Support. And motion and support. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, the motion is carried. Okay, thank you, Alan. I know you've worked a long time on trying to
Thank
get
you.
rid of that eyesore for us. Moving to resolutions. Consideration of a resolution to approve the budget amendment request to increase the uniform budget line item in the fiscal 2019 budget for the Elma Police Department by $3,759 and to increase the private donations line item of the fiscal year 2019 budget for the Elma Police Department by $3,759. And again, this is the donation from the Luniak Family Foundation to pay for those vests that we authorized the purchase for just a few minutes ago, so.
That's just the budget.
This is the
Plain
budget adjustment.
Budget for the budget.
Move approval.
We have a
Support, whatever.
motion and support,
Whatever you need from me.
and I'm sure the motion and support includes the appreciation to the Luniak Family
Absolutely.
Foundation on this one as well. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, that motion is carried with our thanks. H, ordinances, we have one, which is a consideration of a resolution to approve ordinance number 803 to amend the zoning ordinance to add section 60-382, which is conditional zoning. A topic which we've covered several times in the past. Eric, for the camera, you just want to give a brief overview for anybody that might have missed the previous meetings?
Yeah, we've, actually, this is the 5th time in front of this commission, and planning commission, we've been 4 times, I believe, total. The short of it is, this is another tool that we're gonna add to the zoning ordinance that functions a lot like a rezoning request, but the caveat is it's a specific zoning request for a specific structure. The idea is that we have some building structures that we've been having trouble to reuse in the districts they sit in. The idea with using this is trying to find other uses for them that are compatible with the neighbors in the neighborhood, because this process has to work with those individuals, and you set certain conditions specifically for that structure and that use. At some point in the future, that structure fails, or someone has that use, fails to follow up on those conditions, the parcel, the structure falls back to its zoning district. So this gets you some research in the neighborhood that the developer or the use that it's going to happen is going to be done in a certain way, and if it doesn't, then this conditional rezoning is pulled from them and reverts back to the current zoning. So we're hopeful that this will be useful in some structures that just have been for sale for a very long period of time. I'm talking multiple years, 5, 6 years in some cases. Maybe there's something that we can do better with them that will be beneficial from a tax base. Plus, if it doesn't, overstep the bounds within the neighborhood too, working with the neighbors.
Very good. Sounds like a very useful tool, which gives us a lot more flexibility and a lot more control over what's going to happen, rather than rezoning on a permanent basis, which has basically been our only tool in the past. So excited to hopefully help that move some properties along that will go to a higher and better use. So. Okay, any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? That is carried. Okay, agreements, consideration of a resolution authorizing the revised project authorization 2012-0029 PR5/R1 to extend the authorization term by 1 year to allow the Transportation Center sufficient time to complete the radio project and to authorize myself and City Clerk Paterno to execute the agreement on behalf of the City of Elma. That was a mouthful. What are we doing here? Extending our,
Move approved.
okay, we have a motion. Let's get that. Support. You want to give us,
We're extending, it's the radio grant that we've been talking about, this is extending that out in order for it to be completed, which it's mostly complete.
Well, essentially, the radios are already in. What I've ran into is we didn't put the GPS feature into our radio, so we had a savings of almost $10,000. Instead of giving that money back, we were able to utilize those funds if we extend this to get our security cameras in place and have that paid for, so.
Sounds like a winner to me.
Absolutely.
Save money on one hand, and he's gonna spend it on something needed.
Okay, sounds like a good plan. We have a motion of support, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Number 2, consideration of a resolution authorizing the project authorization 2017-0004/T8 for operating assistance for the year 2019, specialized services in the amount of $41,213, and to authorize myself and City Clerk Paterno to execute the agreement on behalf of the City of Elma. So, you have a motion or support? Support, okay.
And what is this?
Matt was just about to give us an update.
Okay, that's me.
Or Brett, you're gonna do it?
Yeah, that's me as well, I guess,
Step right up.
if Matt doesn't mind, I can. Our specialized services is our service that we offer for medical purposes. We took over for patient equipment locker a few years ago, and so now we provide that service, and this is what we get as far as revenue from the state to help us run the operation.
Very good.
Is that going to include other county travel at this point? I remember when I was using that, Ride couldn't because they couldn't take me to Saginaw.
Correct, and we still
Have problems.
stay pretty close to, I mean, we only have a 10-mile radius that we can, people get kind of, I mean, this is our turf, don't go on it, and you need
I
permission.
know that
and
exists in
it's-
the Saginaw and Flint area a
it's-
lot.
Yes, the tape is crazy, that you have to get.
So that would still rely on private carriers or friends and neighbors to accomplish that. Okay, are there any other questions or comments on this item? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that's passed. Reports, we have 2 up. The commissioners may receive your following reports by one resolution, or a commissioner may remove either of the items from the section for individual discussion and vote. We have a Elma Police 2018 report and a medical marijuana facilities task force notes, I guess, rather than a report, October 16th, 2018. And I believe it covers 2 meetings. They also had a meeting on October 23rd, 2018. And Commissioner Piccolo looks like he wants to give us an update here.
He will.
He will.
We did meet twice, 16th and 23rd.
Okay.
Really spent a lot of time talking about the preparation of standards, the process, how that's going to work. As this unfolds, it really looks like we're going to get a lot of guidance from existing ordinances, that we will rely on them. If we need to expand them for a particular reason, we will, but that's all there. That also then makes it easier for us to treat folks wanting a license like any other business that's starting. And it allows us to tell the applicants like we did once, you're going to be responsible to look up the ordinances, to learn what they need. We will give people, tell them what they need to know. They're going to be responsible as any other owner would to find that out and move forward from there. So that's what we're doing. The other piece is because of how dynamic it is. We're just starting the process. Most cities are. We anticipate, because people come back every year, that's when the changes take place. At least once a year, we're going to review, see what we need to change. That'll probably happen live at the beginning, and as it unfolds, that will slow down. The need for change will probably go away. The last piece is apparently we've purchased some software to help us with the creation of forms that we'll use for people that apply. Apparently Aaron has been tasked with, and punished with the process of creating the first draft of what one of those will look like. And it looks like the department heads will be ready with their first draft on November 6th, and we'll start that process now.
Okay.
So,
That sounds like
questions?
forms, you're anticipating the forms will be available online, then a fillable form that Aaron's creating eventually?
That is the intention, yes.
I think eventually, I would think that's probably eventually where we want to go. I think there are so many moving parts with this. I think first things first is what are we going to need from people? What's it look like? And then the next step, I think you design it with the idea of can it be designed in a way so it will easily become something that's
Right.
technology. Don't design the paper, they go back and try to figure it out. That's how you go.
No, I commend you for that, and I also would anticipate that there are other forms that Aaron will be able to develop or teach others in the staff to use so that we can become
I think if we can get him to do forms, we hang on to him like Grim Death and this is it, so.
What can I say? I need an exciting life.
I'm much more in favor of him sharing his knowledge and skills and having everybody do this.
That's right, yeah.
We can get farther faster. In any event, we entertain a motion to accept these reports. Support. Hey, does anybody have any questions on the reports? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much for your report, and Mark for your police report that we didn't talk about. I guess, is that from you actually, or is that from Kendra?
Chief,
Please,
Chief
That's
Overall,
from
yeah.
Chief, okay. So my apologies, it's, thanks to Kendra for that.
Yes.
Appointments, consideration of a reappointment of Matt Schooley to the Gratiot Area Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. How about that?
So moved.
Should he have to leave? We have motion and support. Anyone object besides Matt? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We do appreciate your service on that board. It is, I joke, but it's a very important board for the community. And why don't you just talk for a second about the new director?
I think just recently in the last week, Brenda Kelly was named the executive director, and I think it's an exciting time. We had a long session on last Wednesday, to really go over some expectations for him and trying to set some guidelines for the board. And I think that hoping to see that we're really pushing things in a really, really good direction for the Gratiot Chamber Board. It's been, I know, a long haul to get everybody on the same page, but I have a sense in what I've met Brendan so far is that we're definitely heading there.
Good. And I'm sure the board has been very grateful for their interim director.
Yes, Diane Yonker, who stepped in June because of her experience was extremely helpful, not only through the search process, but just to really get the ship righted a little bit in some respects. She's been very, very helpful. And we convinced her to stay on as a volunteer for a little bit. So.
Her arm is probably sore.
Till we call it the first time, yeah.
No, she knows exactly what she's getting into.
Yes.
When she stepped into the interim role, she was certainly hitting the ground running and had a lot of experience. So it was, I'm sure, a godsend to the board for that. Okay, new business, consideration of the request, city manager, no, before we do that, before we go to new business, we wanted to cover the appropriations, so we entertain a motion for the appropriations. There's a motion to support. Any comments or questions on the bills? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That's passed, and I guess I should step back and say, before we go into executive session, we've got under new business a request to go into executive session to discuss litigation. So what we want to do is finish up the appropriations, do commissioners' comments, public comments, and then we'll plan to go into our executive session, take care of the business there, and then we'll come back out and remain in session, and I would anticipate that we may take some action based on our discussion in the executive session. So that may or may not happen, obviously we don't know for sure at this point, but we'll get through all of the comment portion here before we go into executive session. So my apologies for not addressing that ahead of time. So first up, we'll go to commissioner comments. Don, glad to have you with us tonight.
Yeah, it was an interesting weekend, so, but nothing, that's good. Don't need to go any further with it, I guess.
Just that between now and our next meeting, we have Halloween, so I hope people are careful and have a trick or treat or stay safe.
Absolutely. Roxanne? Larry?
Nothing.
Roger?
On the Halloween thing, the First Presbyterian Church is hosting the Halloween party, again with the police there and the fire engine there for kids to play on. It's not a trick-or-treat session, it's a place to go after trick-or-treat with hot chocolate and games and stuff like that. Last year, we had about 350 people.
That's awesome. So, good turnout. Okay. Mark?
Well, as the
Anything
Halloween
going on in your word?
passes,
World?
November 6th is going to be the general election, so if people are thinking that they do not want to stand in line, they qualify to get an absentee ballot, please come in and get that as soon as you can.
Okay, so they are still available.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Is there a deadline on those?
Well,
As soon as you can, at this point?
no, the last day that they can officially get one is Saturday, November 3rd, between 9 and 2. Those are the last officially in person. Mailing one, it's gonna be really difficult to get you one like Monday next week. Probably the last time.
Halloween's a good day.
And if you want one mailed to someplace, because we have to mail it to you, you have to, fill it out, then mail it back to us, and it has to be here by election day.
Okay. So if you're not going to be able to be here in town to vote, be sure to contact the city rather quickly here. Perfect. You said Saturday?
On Saturday, the Saturdays before the general election, all clerk's offices have to be open from 9 to 2 to administer absentee ballots.
I've only been doing this for 15 years, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Good to know, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Larry?
I think Eric has a function this Friday,
Thursday.
Thursday you might wanna mention.
25th, this Thursday, 5 to 7, is the Fall Fest downtown. College students from Alma College help us out big time with that, with the volunteers and the other things that they bring down activity-wise for the kids. We have probably 12, at least the ones that called me back and things, at least 12 people, businesses that are participating directly, and there's always a couple of them that just hand out candy anyway. So from 5 to 7, they have little ones that want to get involved with the costumes. They like wearing more than once. That's a good time to do it. There's a costume contest at 6:30. So and we had close to 400 and some kids last year.
So pretty good turnout.
It was a good turnout.
And for several years, I think. It's just
Every time we get some sun, it shows up.
So rain is bad?
Rain is not good for us. No.
Okay. Makes some sense. Okay, Mr. Kearney.
All set.
We handled this in the work session, but I come up with an employee recognition program here where, as we're starting to put out a little bit more about our core values, which we have sitting above us here in the city, in the commission chambers. And I've asked staff to take a look at our employees and see who's doing it, who's really living up to those standards. And prior to this meeting, I went ahead and Amy Huntoon, works at the clerk in the front cashier that you folks see every day, was our first recipient. So we're very happy and thankful.
Okay, very good. Well, I would echo congratulations to Amy and thank you certainly for your service. Perhaps next time we can actually do the award on the camera.
Yeah,
rather
we'll
than
actually do that.
You can do your own one.
Yeah, we'll do yours next time.
Another reason for me to give mine back.
Okay, so that's all I have. Yeah, definitely be careful on Halloween. Don't make all kids safe, and don't forget to vote. Get your absentee ballot if you're not going to be around, but definitely vote. It's very important. So, with that, we entertain a motion. Oh, public comments. So we'll go through the public comment session first, then we'll go into executive session. So if you'd like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name and address, and address the commission. You have 5 minutes per if you'd like to speak. So who would like to be first? Lori, we have a volunteer. So what I've heard is good news this time.
Yeah, twice.
So there should be a big smile, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to cry. 517 Michigan Avenue, St. Louis. My name is Lori Wilson. Since May or June of this year, I found out I had stage 2 cancer. I've been going through chemo treatments twice a week each time. I had the treatments, I don't feel well or I'm tired, but I went through several chemo sessions. This one on the 17th of this month was my last chemo treatment. The only side effects I have is no feeling in my left foot, but now on the 17th of this month, I asked my doctor, am I done? She said yes. Then I asked her, do I still have cancer? She looked at me and said to me, Lori, you don't have cancer anymore. I'm proud to say I'm strong. I'm a survivor. There's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm still here. I'm doing really good. I'm honored to say I don't have cancer anymore. I made it. I want to thank everyone for prayer, for support, all the prayers. I couldn't imagine anyone that had cancer would have gave up. I wanted to give up, but I chose to fight the battle to the very end. It was tough, but I won the battle, and I made it. I want to thank the Alma Police Department for being my second family to me. You are all my brothers and sisters to me. You mean so much to me. Thank you from the Alma Police Department for all the support, and you helped me get through this, the 6 months I went through. I believe in myself. I can do anything I put my mind to it. My battle with cancer was a long, tough road. I believe I'm strong, and I believe in God to help me in every situation. He has now helped. I am looking forward to my life maybe normal again. I didn't imagine ever in my life I would have cancer, but I did it. It hurt bad. But now, I'm here to show everyone I'm strong. I'm standing on my own. I'm tough, and I'm a survivor in so many ways. Thank you so much for believing in me and supporting me. Thank you from the bottom of my strong heart. Thank you for standing behind me and giving me all the prayers. I found out today, good news again, on October 31st, Halloween, I'm having a day surgery to have my med port out for good. Thank you, everyone. From Lori Aaron Wilson. Thank you.
Congratulations, Claire.
And one last note. I talked to Matt, and I gave him a letter that I wrote. Because years ago, when he was a detective for the Alma Police Department, he came to mental health, and I was sitting on the side of the sidewalk. And I was crying so bad, I didn't know which way to go. He was a strong person and detective. He gave his time to help me get where I needed to go. He helped me that day, and if it wasn't for Matt being my friend, I would not know where I would be at today. Thank you, Matt. You are a very kind, sweet person.
We're gonna have to give him another medal.
He gets old bag Okay, wait, think they can top that? No, it's
Anybody want to try?
I can't top it, but I would like to speak.
Okay, please come to the podium and share your thoughts with us.
My name is Angie Markovich, and I live at 513 North River here in Alma. And I have kind of a weird question, because the sidewalk that runs from my house to uptown, I can't remember the name of the street, but it's the one that backs up to the park where they have the farmer's market. Okay. There is an empty lot on the corner of this street. And on this lot, there is a nut tree. And whoever owns this lot rakes their garbage from their lawn out into the sidewalk. and I mean in the sidewalk. They did it last fall, and it was not very comfortable to walk through the mess. And then when we had snow and ice, I was forced to walk on the road instead of using the sidewalk. And I just want to know, if it happens again this year, who do I call?
My name is Aaron, I'm the city code enforcement official,
Okay.
and we have an ordinance that says a sidewalk needs to be unobstructed.
Mm-hmm.
So while they go into executive section, if you have a moment, we can talk about it and exchange
Okay.
information.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Not such a weird request after all.
We got time for that.
Apparently we're prepared for those, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Who would like to be next? No? Okay. Hearing none. Entertaining motion to go into executive session.
Support for it?
Motion support, I believe we need roll call for this.
Okay, Ayers,
Yes.
Nyman,
Yes.
Piccolo, Roxanne,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Roger.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna head for executive session. If you'd like to stay, feel free to do so. There is a possibility we will take action when we come out.
Kicked it. Amy?
Thanks
again, Mark.
I don't know who would ever said something honest.
Thanks, Larry. Need you to step out there and hold it. I couldn't get, I was focused up on that, and suddenly I thought he would talk about it.
He did during the work session.
I know, I was here, but I didn't tape it.
No, we're talking someplace different.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, well, like I said, this is the part where the,
Now I'm coming in.
okay, then you just go across the farmer's market.
I'm not quite sure how well those lots.
Ooh, look at that. All right.
I don't know if they.
Congratulations, Amy.
So, here's pine.
1, 2,
There's our
3,
farmer's market.
4, 5.
This is that old,